Hello and welcome to the Open Virtual Film Project. In this video, I'm going to be showing you some right-click actions. To start with, we're going to show you some functions that show up when you right-click any actor, either in the scene or the world outliner. So if you right-click any actor, scroll down to Scripted Actions, the first of which is Break Blueprint. If I click that, you'll see it replaced that blueprint component with its constituent parts. Usually after this, you need to do a little bit of cleanup, deleting any of the extra bits that should not have been created. You also have the ability to break apart an FBX scene in case you import with an FBX scene. It does a very similar thing to the break blueprint. If I have a few objects selected, right-click Scripted Actions and click this bulk rename, Restore to Mesh Name. This tool will go through and grab any static meshes, skeletal meshes, or decals and rename the actor to the referenced asset in the content browser. In a similar vein, if I go to Scripted Actors bulk rename, set name, and I can give them all a new name, such as wall section. If I leave it like this, each of them will be named with an underscore random number. However, if I wanted to have a little bit more control over the number that occurs at the end of the name, I can add my own. So I'm going to add an underscore and then the number symbol, and I can start the number, add it to the end with any particular number that I want. In this case, I'm going to use 14. So now I have wall section 14, 15, and 16. You'll notice this is a 3-padded number, so you'll always have 001, 002, all the way up to 999 as your number. If you go over 999, it will do 1001, 1002. The last scripted action I want to talk about is this Make New Sublevel one. If I click it, it gives me a little pop-up window where I can give a description of what I want my sublevel to be. If you're familiar with OVFP naming conventions, you do not need to include the master level name. So normally this would be SL, Chase Hall, Books. In this tool, I would want this to be just the book section. It will do the SL and the Chase Hall sections automatically for me. And I can choose what type of prefix I want it to be, whether it is a sublevel, which is geometry and the like, a lighting sublevel, which is a different lighting look for a scene, an animation sublevel, which is often tied with a sequencer, or a storyboard sublevel, which is often tied with cameras. In this case, I'm going to leave it at sublevel, books, hit OK. And if I go into my levels browser, you'll see it's got SL Chase Hall Books version 11. And it put it in the right folder per the OVFP naming convention and folder structure. If instead of right-clicking an actor, I right-click an asset, I have scripted actions where I can bulk rename, replacing text with a different type of text, whether or not to ignore text, and text add to start and add to end. I can also make a new sublevel, same thing as before, pops up this. I could create whatever sublevel I wanted. If I needed a new blank swappable material, so when you're working with the OVFP naming convention, we use particular material instances with particular master materials, I could click this Make Blank Swappable Material, and I can fill out all the information. So the prefix is going to be MI, that is autofilled for me. The source, this is going to be from creativecommons0.com, which I can get from the asset source short names document that is generated on a production, or it would be the name of the environment that I'm currently working in, if it was a material particular to my environment. The material name that I am actively working on, so Wood03, whether or not to open the material when it's done. And if I did not want to use the prefix source name functionality, I could instead use this custom name function where I could type whatever I wanted. So all the information filled out, hit OK. It opens the material, and I could go through and do all of the edits that I needed to. If I make a selection of textures that have the OVFP naming convention standard, so tx underscore source underscore material name underscore texture type, could right-click, scripted actions, make swappable material from swappable textures, and it will autofill all of the texture slots that I need. And if I wanted to duplicate a material with a couple of extra functions, I can right-click any material instance in the content folder, scripted actions, version material, extra information, whether or not I want to open the material when it's complete. And then at the end, it's going to give me the option to replace the material everywhere in the scene. I'm going to have it replace everywhere in the scene. I could also have it replace only in the actors that I have selected before I run this tool, or replace nowhere. This is a great way if I wanted to version up a set, leave the previous version the same, but then change the wood floor in this version. I could do a version 2. It'll open up the material. And now that it's changed everywhere in the scene, I could tint version 2 darker, while still being able to go back to version 1 if I wanted to. The last place you can come across scripted actions like this is under the virtual production drop-down menu. So if I wanted to version up, I could choose whether or not it has a suffix associated with it, and click the version level button. I could also make a new sublevel in this section. Call this LSL Blue Light, click Make New Sublevel, and you'll see in my levels browser there's now this LSL Chase Hall Blue Light version 1. Those are a few of the functions. More will get added over time, and that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.